Hello?
The starting point
Anybody
for
home?
this play, Dreamer, was actually a very old story, The Idiot by Dostoevsky, and that being the return or the arrival of a very simple, innocent, naive man into a society that judges him and sees him as different or weird, and the way in which really that character reflects society back on themselves.
Where is he?
That's good. Then across that we now see current issues such as coal seam gas and the fight is going on here for our community, a lot of our community, and the situation that farmers have found themselves in inside a very difficult scenario.
It's just a test drill. It's low impact. It'll be good for the area.
It's so much more interesting. You have so much more access when people can relate to themselves, and that's why part of the research is within the community here. It's such a vibrant, colourful community that I think a lot of people will look at it and recognise themselves.
And telling a regional story is really exciting because often we're not sharing those stories. We're telling stories of the city or telling other stories, but to be devising and building and making a piece that is born out of being here, it's really satisfying.
You silly duffer.
Mum?
And that's why also we use abstraction and non-linear form, is because we know that the audience is going to go, oh yeah, I know that, I can see that, I can see us, and therefore we become the celebrators of a community, but also the provocateurs of a community.
Leo, it's your land too. Is it?
It doesn't feel like my land.
Well then, whose is it?
Exactly.
Whose is it?
Helped her out.
The projection now is working in a very interesting way, and the way that documentary making is an important part of our storytelling now. It's a really fun and engaging way. I think a lot of audiences will really have a good time with the way in which we use the medium.
They're going to protect their land. And they're even probably going to try and protect my land.
And that the element of land ownership, I think, was something which I'd like to feel more of that, and on all the different layers of that. Or, you know, not just between the two brothers, obviously, and not just between the CSG, but this is a bigger question.
Out here and in country areas, you might feel like that you're forgotten by the people in the city and by the governments. I'm sure a lot of the farmers do, because their land's just sort of being sold off.
The people of the Northern Rivers really have shown everyone in the country that coming together as a community, you can really make a huge difference, and that spirit of community we wanted reflected in Dreamer as well. It's just a melting pot of four of the most incredible improvisers, giving them a story point that we need to hit, letting them play around that, and then through comedy we're accessing a quite big stories.
And I think I experienced just about every emotion possible. You know, from awe and mystique and sadness and fun, and I love the dancing.
So Force Majeure is based at Carriage Works. We're a dance theatre company, and we like to tell Australian stories. And so this is where Dreamer comes right into our field, where we went, okay, we'd like to be a part of telling a regional story. So I've now come down as a movement director to be a part of finding out what this story is and helping it come alive through movement.
It's those creative ways of moving the story forward really fast that really do it for me. Yeah, very raw and very close to the bone, very powerful. I think a lot of people were kind of squirming because they can totally relate to what they're seeing, and that's the real power of it.